Hello, everybody. This is Alicia from Quick and Delish. This is day 33 of the 33-day Self-Care is Our Best Defense Challenge. So we made it April 1st all the way through May 3rd. Pretty cool. We made it. Whew. So that was sort of, I guess it was phase 2 of sheltering in place. Now we're going into phase 3, which is the full month of May. Sheltering in place here in the Bay Area, San Francisco. And I know some people are, some areas in the world in the United States, things are getting a little bit more serious, you know. And then other places we're just hunkering down and having a lot of patience. Because Mother Nature has given us a time out to ask us to think about how we could do better. And I think that's part of the self-care thing, right? So how can we do better? It is more fun when we're running around outside, but now's the time to focus on ourselves and get our act together, right? Focus on what's important, prioritizing what is the most important thing in our life. And I just remember there's this awesome book, I can't remember the name of it, but it was written by a nurse, a hospice nurse. So she had seen and witnessed so many people tell her about their regrets. And it's really important to not have, we don't want regrets in life, right? Because we don't know if we're going to get hit by a bus, and that's not a very good thought. However, if we don't think like that, and we actually take advantage of the people that are in our life right now, then we won't have regrets, right? Okay, so the goal is to not have any regrets. And so a lot of people, when they were on their deathbed, they told this nurse, I wish I spent more time with my people. I wish I had done all these things, and their regrets. They wanted to spend more time with their people and like giving back to their community and doing good stuff and cherish the time that they had when they were actually alive, right? And so how are you using your time wisely? Okay, that's a little bit about, mindset of health. Okay, so cheers. We made it through to the 33rd day. This is a lemon verbena tea that I made. You can have it hot or cold. And what's super cool, I'll show you lemon verbena because I think it's rude to, salute and then not drink. You're supposed to look at the person in their eyes too, right? Okay, so this is lemon verbena. I got this is a new shoot from a large shrub, lemon verbena shrub. It's an herb. And so it's not like you don't want to eat the leaves. It's actually kind of scratchy. I think scratchy is kind of a almost accurate term. And so it's a little bit limp because I'm going to dry it. So I made tea. So this is 4 cups or a quart. I put one of these leaves in 4 cups of water, and then it's just steeping here. There's just one leaf in here. I don't know if you can see that. And it makes super flavorful tea. And so I'm probably going to end up making a second amount with that same leaf, which is super delicious. So check out lemon verbena, grow a shrub. It actually gets quite big. So if you think you're going to grow like a cute little plant and have it in the window, you're wrong. It'll take a little while to get really big, but it'll grow really big if it is let to grow big. Okay, so delicious tea. The next thing I wanted to show you was I'm going to make a dessert. I had bragged a couple days ago I made a mug cake or mug brownie. I didn't make a cake. With my favorite cocoa powder, which is Valrhona. And it's from Venezuela. And I bought some more recently because I was scared I was going to run out. So I'm going to make a chia seed pudding. So be careful with chia seeds because you don't want to have too many because it's a lot of fiber. And I've had some patients that were like, they wanted to crush fiber. Like some people are super competitive. And so if you give them a recommendation, then they like take it to a whole other level. But you want to, have enough fiber that your bowel movements are regular. But there's a fine line in drinking enough water because water and fiber are best friends forever. So if you don't drink enough water, but you're eating a high fiber diet, then you can get constipated, and nobody's a good person when they're constipated. It's not good. So be careful of how much you want to have enough, but also keep up with the water drinking. So everybody, you know, the range is somewhere between like 25 and 38 grams per person per day, but it's definitely, it has to do with like your height, your weight, your activity, your person, like a smaller person versus like a bigger person, you know, just like their anatomy, you know. Okay, so I want to show you the final product first. It's always good to see the final product. So this is a thick chocolate pudding. It's super cool. So I think this has been soaking for about 2.5 hours. I wanted to show you the final product. Yum. I'll taste it for you in a minute. Okay, so we know the final product. And so I'm making chocolate chia seed pudding. Yum. Okay, so 1/2 cup of milk. Whatever milk you have. Milk is so controversial these days. I'm just kidding. It's not controversial. There's just so many choices, right? There's cow's milk, there's goat's milk, there's all the non-dairy milks. 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, 1/2 cup of milk, 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. And I like to get my chia seeds from Trader Joe's because they're affordable there. What else? Okay, I'm gonna do 2.5 teaspoons of cocoa powder, my favorite cocoa powder, Valrhona. It's so delicious and strong and like fuerte. We want flavors to punch us in the face. Punch us in the face. What else could you add? Oh, we need a little bit of sweetener. So what I've done before, and it totally works, is I take frozen fruit and heat it up or defrost it. You know, frozen cherries or even fresh berries would be great in this for sweetener. So you could use fruit as a sweetener, dried fruit, fresh fruit, dehydrated or freeze-dried fruit can be great for making a chia pudding, like a blueberry chia pudding, or there's so many dried fruits, or a combination. Oh my gosh, if you were to get freeze-dried strawberries and raspberries and blueberries and make a tri-berry chia seed pudding from freeze-dried fruit, that would be delicious. Freeze-dried fruit is super fun because one, it's super crunchy if you're gonna just eat it as a snack, and it's so flavorful. And then 2, if you rehydrate it, it adds so much flavor to something. Okay, what's next? Oh, I'm gonna add a little bit of maple syrup, molasses. You could add maple syrup, or I was going for a liquid sugar that would dissolve easily. So you could use any kind of sugar. So I'm just gonna do a little guy. Woo! And molasses kind of matches the richness of the cocoa powder. You can disagree with me. And there's a lot of vitamins and minerals in molasses. It's pretty cool. Easy does it with the sugar, right? Sugar is sugar. Some sugar has more fructose. Some sugar has less fructose. It's just sugar is sugar overall. So your approach to sugar. Some people say one is better than the other. Just put sugar in the same category. It's easier to manage it in your head. Okay, so this is super liquidy and not awesome looking, and you're like, oh, this is really gonna turn into a pudding. I don't believe you, Alicia. Okay, you believe me that it's super liquidy, right? Okay, so put that in the refrigerator anywhere between like 1.5 hours or overnight, and it's delicious. So if it's thicker than you want, then add a little bit more liquid, no big deal. If you add a little bit of water, a little bit of milk, you'll be good to go, and it's delicious. What did I add to it yesterday? Oh yeah, I don't have it here or available, but I've mentioned it before. Edison Granary, Edison with 1 D, Edison. I'm not very good at spelling bees. Edison with 1 D, Granary, is a California company that makes these super cool crunchy cereals. And yesterday when I had this for dessert, I added quinoa Krispies, and it added a little bit more fiber and crunch. So that was kind of cool. I didn't really need to add more fiber, you know. But it added a little bit more carbohydrate for energy. I could have added a little bit of fruit instead of the molasses, certainly. And there's just so many options with chia seed pudding. So I also want to give you a warning. My dentist, Dr. Tran in San Francisco, told me that you have to be really careful with how much chia seed you're eating because you might increase your risk for gum bleeding, which is really not pleasant. I'm sure many people know what that is like. And so just be careful. And that's why I don't try to do chia seed pudding more than a couple times a week max. And it's good to have a variety of foods in your diet anyway. And so if you hit chia seeds too much, cherries are also a food that increases the risk for gum bleeding. And so our teeth are, you know, once we're adults, or once we get our second set of teeth, that's it. And so it's really important to pay attention to our dental hygiene and listen to our dentists. They're amazing. And there's, you know, we can't go to dentists right now because we're all sheltering in place. But there's things that we can do to up the ante on our dental hygiene now. Like brushing your teeth with baking soda is amazing. It doesn't taste good at all, but you can, you know, end your day and, you know, rinse out with a mouthwash that tastes better than the baking soda. You know, not all the things that are good for us taste good. I know it sounds weird saying it out loud. Okay, so what did I talk about? What are we doing? Oh, yeah, we're having fun. Another thing I wanted to mention was my new approach to making videos in the future. I learned a ton. Thank you for your patience watching me. I'm low vision. I can't quite see myself. I can see the stripes. I see me as a person exists on camera, and I can see some aspects of like the shelf. I can see a line and, you know, the cupboard behind me, whatever, but I can't really like see detail. And so I learned a lot about filming myself on YouTube, and I will continue filming. I'm going to offer you 2 videos a week, one on Saturday, and I'm not sure when the other one will happen yet. I'm kind of non-committal, so we're going to work on, it's a work in progress. So Saturday is for sure. I haven't committed to a time yet, so I'm just kind of figuring it out and doing what's best for my schedule as well. But I want to be able to provide consistent content out there for you because I want you to eat it up. I want you to eat up the information and share it with your people. And I want you to get excited about this information I have to share. And I'm going to work on different strategies to actually maybe show you how to do some cooking stuff. I'm currently filming on an iPad right now, which seems to work very well for the kitchen. And then also in the living room. And then I was using my laptop, but I have some issues there. I think, yeah, anyway. I didn't have a successful time using my phone while cooking. For some reason, the internet wasn't happy with me. So that's my report on some of my shenanigans of filming. I have a good time. So 2 videos a week moving forward. That's going to be what happens for May. I have mentioned that I will offer a nutrition class for free at some point. That'll probably be in the end of May. Apologies for anybody that's bummed out that I wasn't able to put that together sooner than later, or sooner rather. And I just needed to get a little bit of help behind me. I needed to get a person to help me in order to be able to make it happen. So to be continued on that. And I'm very excited that I'm working on publishing an e-cookbook, or creating an e-cookbook of how I think about meal planning and how to simplify your life and how to make it so that you can cook super quickly at home more often with lots of flavor. Like so much flavor, and it's so yummy. And yeah, so I'm super stoked about that. So keep an eye out on the e-cookbook situation. I hope to have a insider peek, so to speak, in 4 to 6 weeks. I'll go 4 to 6 weeks. So that brings us to the beginning of June or the middle of June. The summer's almost here. My goodness! My goodness! Okay, well, I guess I have to taste this pudding. See, it's already thickening up. Do you know why the chia seed pudding thickens up? It's so cool. So soluble fiber is the part of chia seed that holds on to water, and it becomes a gel. So one of the reasons why sorry, I have to talk about food and bowel movements in the same sentence, but one of the reasons why our bowel movements might not be high five worthy, and we all want high five worthy bowel movements, and it might not happen with all of you, but we want to work towards that, certainly. Like, we want double high five. And so enough soluble fiber helps create a gel, and that makes a more more high five worthy bowel movement, which is super cool. So that's what we're going for. So that's what chia seeds do. And that's what oatmeal does, and beans and lentils, and lots of foods. So it's the starchy vegetables and the whole grains together, and some fruit. So yeah, and fruit, but they all have different amounts in them. So that's why it's good to eat a variety of foods. More on that topic in another video. That's like a whole sequence of videos. Okay, I'm going to taste this chia seed pudding for you. It's quite thick. Yummy. So I taste the chocolate. I taste a little bit of molasses, but it's not so molassesy that it is the dominant flavor. It's like cocoa, molasses, and creamy. It's delicious. And so I hope you'll try the chia seed pudding. And again, don't hit it too hard, because we want to eat a variety of foods. And yeah, last note, and I'll talk about this more in the future, is I created the mug brownie video. Anyway, one of the videos I entitled, "You Gotta Feed the Monster," or "Feed the Monster Inside." So a little bit about the monster inside. So there's part of us that needs to have the treat, the reward, whatever. And like, some people are the salty people, and they prefer salty snacks or whatever as their go-to reward thing. And then there's some people that prefer dessert, but everybody is all over the place. And some people prefer both of them, right? They're like non-committal, and they like both. And so some people like alcohol for their reward. Like, everybody has their own different reward. And some people just eat, and that's their reward. And so it's all about how you think about food, and feeding the monster inside, or throwing a bone to the monster inside, is like, you need to satisfy some of the cravings and some of the foods that you want to have, but in a way that works for you. I hope that makes sense. So if you restrict too much, or you don't eat a variety of foods, and you don't have sweetness built in your meals, then that makes the monster inside get angry. And then all of a sudden you're like, forget it, I'm going to have cake. And cake might not even be something that you care about normally, but you're just going to do something weird. And you know that happens. Like, you just have a rough day, and you're like, forget it, I'm going to drink a bottle of wine. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter what the actual action is, because it's different for everybody. But we're just at a high risk for doing something extreme if we do more like the scarcity eating. We're like, oh no, I can't have that. Oh, that's bad for me. That's not healthy. I'm on a diet. That's the struggle. Okay, so figure out how to feed the monster, so that part of you is satisfied. That's it for me, and I look forward to seeing you this coming week. I'm not sure when. If you like these videos, I would love it if you shared and subscribed to my channel, and shared and subscribe and share and subscribe. And that's it for me, and I wish you all super healthy, safe, and sane, as we continue to shelter in place. Oh, my last thing. I'm like a run-on sentence. I actually describe myself as a run-on sentence all the time. Okay, so again, I can't see this myself, but I know this is a wall calendar. Okay, so this is February. And so I got this and I'm taping this on my wall with painter's tape so it doesn't make marks. What happened in February? An outbreak happened of COVID-19, right? Also, my half birthday happened on February 2nd. Those are the two things that happened in February. And here we are in May, May 3rd. So let's see what happens. Let's just have the most patience in the world, and cheers to focusing on us. We are number one. Self-care is so important. It's so important to embed in our life. Cheers. You're number one. Remember to say in the mirror, I love you. I love you to you. I love you. Until next time.